Hey, it's Spence from LaunchFlows.com. In this video, I want to give you an update, version 3.5.3 of LaunchFlows that brings some pretty cool features that makes your life easier and the product simpler. The thing I've added to this update, along with a couple of the other things I showed in my last video with ready-to-go layouts, is what I'm calling instant product checkout pages. And in doing so, I've also improved the feature of our instant sales page. Here's the concept. You already know that in WooCommerce you have to create a sales page for any products because you've got the product page itself. Why not make it a real full-blown sales page? And why not take it even further and say, instead of just a sales page with a call to action that sends somebody to another checkout, why not make it possible to customize the one-page sales page and checkout on the same location? That way it avoids the need for you to have flows or steps or a heavy framework. You just take the page you've already got and you can get rid of the things you don't want, reorganize what you do have, and have any outcome that you desire. Simple, light, efficient, and it works with the Gutenberg blocks and shortcodes, so it works with any page builder. Let's show you what I mean. Here on this product page, we got some standard components that look slightly different depending on which theme you're using. I'm using Astra here. Maybe you're going to use Cadence, or maybe you're using one of the WooCommerce shop templates. Doesn't matter. We've got the gallery, we've got breadcrumbs, title, price, short description, we've got our add to cart, our meta, we've got our tabbed layouts for things like the additional information, or if you have product reviews, or here we've got, the shipping weight and so forth. And then we've got our related products. Now, by itself, the layout is very nice, except it's a real yard sale of distraction if we're trying to do a sales page where the call to action should be the focal point. So we've improved the back end ability for you to clean this page up. If you go on the back end of the product setup under the LaunchFlows tab, we have our instant sales page. When you check this box, as shown in the tooltip, it will clean up this product's layout of the breadcrumbs, the related products, the metadata, and the tabs. It just removes them so they're no longer a function to be dealt with. And when we refresh the page on the front, you'll see it goes from a yard sale into a very efficient, clean setup. But best of all, now you can actually modify and add content to the bottom using any of the free Gutenberg, or if you use Elementor widgets, components for making it better. Now, also, if you're using any of your other favorite page builders, it'll work just fine too, because it's the content area here that's going to be spit out below. So for example, let's just put in some things here, pretending I'm making a new page layout, right, for this sales page, and I want to put in either individual components or whole sections or whatever. So let's put in this, that might be a big picture, but whatever. It might be a little crazy. I just want to demonstrate what happens. Sometimes I make myself laugh. Okay, we refresh the page, and then now this big dude is below, but I think you see where we're going. So the top remains as your focused call to action and so forth, but you can add things below. Now, you can also go ahead and relocate things like the add to cart button. So it's not a problem. There are plenty of components for either Gutenberg or in shortcode form or whatever. So you could essentially take the pieces from here and move them about, or just essentially do a different way, which is the next thing I'm going to show you if I stop laughing. Let's say instead of it just being a sales page that goes to an on-site checkout, why not we just make it into an instant checkout page? So let's go further or farther. We'll go to LaunchFlows. We're going to use the instant checkout page option. And this adds a checkout to this product's default display page. In the process, it also enables the Gutenberg editor, as you've seen, which otherwise is not available currently in WooCommerce. So you can further customize the default checkout as you wish. So we can make a super duper instant sales and checkout page. And we can use some of those new layout shortcodes. So for example, I could take a product page, instantly turn it into a mimic of a one-page Shopify, including a call to action on the top. All of this with no design skills at all. Just literally 1 or 2 clicks and a shortcode. So instant checkout page, we turn that on, click update. By the way, this is a sneak peek. This isn't the formal release video. Okay, but let's do this. Let's get rid of the guy so I'm not distracted. Okay, so now you see it's literally nothing other than the default product and the checkbox is checked. So here's what we'll get. When I refresh the page, now we've got the top panel is the cleaned up call to action section, right? Super simple. And by the way, it responds to your underlying theme. So for example, if you were to go to your underlying theme, you can use that to set the default colors and all the rest of it. So for example, here, if I went into Astra options, I could change the default colors from blue to red or anything I wanted, and it will respond to that with regard to the buttons and the hyperlinks and so forth. So if we went here, global, you know, theme color, link color, button color, text color. So change to red and so forth. And let's do a button actually, because there's nothing on this page to give you an idea what just happened. Let's do button background color, red, and we'll leave the rollover alone. So if we go back over here to our product, you'll notice we've got the links in the dashboard changed, but okay, so we've still got that enabled, and let's refresh the page, and you'll see essentially that it'll pick up like for the add to cart button and so forth, it'll respond to that. So none of the styling issues are really out of your control. You can still style them using the underlying tools for your page builder or your theme, okay? But now here's the neat thing. Now that we've got a checkout below the call to action cleaned up sort of sales page area, let's go ahead and talk about what other things we can do to customize it. Similar to what we were just talking about with regard to customizing with other options, I've created a whole new library of short codes that represent each of the components, like the gallery or the price, so you can relocate them any way you wish. For example, if I'm using Gutenberg here and I add a column in, maybe I want to make a 2-column layout. This is below the top of the page. I could take each of those components from the normal product call to action and remove them into my own layout. And if I remove all of them, then the top piece will go away entirely and it will be literally no more. So for example, if I did here, I could do short code and let's put the, I don't know, let's put the price over here, right? So I'm going to have these documented, but LFWC price. And over here, let's move the gallery over to this side. And again, these will be easy to know and easy to stick in place because they're just going to be ready to go blocks in the block editor or patterns and whatnot. So WC gallery. Let's see if I remember those correctly. And what this is going to do is it's going to take the price from here and put it down inside of here. It's going to take the gallery and put it down inside of here and allow me to essentially make the layout any way I want with Gutenberg, you see. So now it took the piece away from the top and it put the price down here and the gallery over here. I can move the add to cart, right? So duplicate it. And I'm really finding that the old school shortcodes are terrific because they can be placed into what will ultimately be some native blocks or patterns that will show up inside of the library here. But they also make it sort of bulletproof universal because no matter what your page builder, you could just use this stuff as it is. So here if I do, let's see, I have to actually refer to my, this would be WC cart. I think that's what moves that. It's late. I've been up all day. Okay, so you see how I'm able to move the add to cart down there. I could do like the description and the title. So, I mean, I literally can just duplicate this and move those things down. WC title. And I think the other one is the full word, WC description. We'll see if I'm right. And when I refresh the page, we should have basically moved everything out of the top. Okay, so as you can see, we can now do whatever we want to do. I can even get rid of the coupon. So let's move the coupon out of the top. this is really like full circle for me with this, because LaunchFlows started out as really a basic short code tool. There's been one person who's been vocal in saying that somehow that deprecates its value. And I say, on the contrary, the fact that it's simple and works with shortcodes is one of its best features, because that's what makes this so bulletproof. It literally makes it possible for you to use the existing components in any way, shape, or form you want, right? So I'm not going to try to make this a design tutorial, but you get the basic idea that we've got now the gallery moved over here, we've got the other pieces here, and I can add in any other component I want. I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but let's say if you put in, what have I got here to use? Let's put in a pull quote of some kind. I don't know what that is, but if I wanted to do a pull quote, probably what's going to happen from my standpoint is I'm going to make a lot of those tchotchkes that you see on sales pages, right? The things that say 100% guarantee, and your assurance is guaranteed, and here's these quotes with nicely, these are all available when you're using some of the things in like the Extendify templates, or if you're using Editor Plus, or if you're using cadence blocks. They all have those pieces anyway. And now you can essentially put them together or use an existing section. I just don't have one of those things installed on my test bed right now. But you can see that, we can add in the quote component, and now we're building whatever kind of layout we want. If I want the review to be full width, right? No problem. I'll just put in short code. And again, if I had Editor Plus here, I can stylize these. You've seen that a million times. So if I want to put the order review full width, I can just put that down there, and it will move the component from over here to the bottom. Now, here's the neat thing. Because it is a one-page checkout, when I click the button, it's not going to take me elsewhere. It's going to leave me here. It's just going to add the product to the cart. And you'll also see, although Astra's adding this little extra doodad, ignore that. I'll probably bump that out. You can also see that all of the dynamic cart upgrade stuff works fine. So I probably am going to put a wait till morning, wait till I'm fresh, last run through on this. And then I'm going to combine it with what we built for the tab checkout. So let me show you how that would work out. Let's actually use this. I've been fond of this now. Just deleting the whole block at once. So remember on the other video I was showing you can use LF tab checkout. We're going to have pre-made, fully contained with all the style, all the jQuery checkout layouts. So if you can imagine now, you can have a product page where you just go ahead and plop this in, or it can have the top panel, call to action, and then plop this in, and you'll get something that looks like this. So you'll notice, there's nothing dramatic here, but it's got, the multi-tabs and so on and so forth, so that you don't have to worry about setting up that difficult configuration. It will look and feel and act like one of the popular things like Shopify and so forth, but all you'll need to do is have a product page, check the checkbox to clean up the top, put in a short code that's a layout or a pattern if you prefer, done and done. And if you're in one of those page builders that you've already got, that's cool. Leave the page builder for the header and the footer, and you're good to go, because the rest of this is just default layout. So with WooCommerce product pages, the interesting thing is they are not acting like normal pages. They're acting like posts, which means, and I should probably point this out to those of you who are wondering, when you normally create a checkout page in LaunchFlows, you would go to the sidebar and you would find a template called LaunchFlows Full or LaunchFlows Canvas. But because the WooCommerce products are posts, they don't actually work that way. They work by using the underlying theme's decision for what you want to have as your header and footer, which actually makes it easier because now you don't even have to deal with any of that. You can just leave it as the default template, which will bring in the product stuff, and just check the two checkboxes, okay? Finally, I want to give a call thanks out to Carrie Krieger and Russell Brunson for the suggestion to improve the instant registrations tooltip. It now reads, instantly displays a clean form with a gray border whenever, oops, I gotta fix that. Whenever this product and checkout values are set to free. So Carrie is a good client and a friend of mine who has been using the product for a long time, and he suggested that it would be helpful to have that when you use the instant registration option for a product page. It turns the checkout into something that looks like a very beautiful little registration form. So you can use it within other layouts, and you don't have to use any other tools to get somebody immediately registered, logged in, given the tags they need. So just a little call out for the suggestion, and thanks. I'll fix that typo. And I'll see you guys on the next video.